Hi, I'm Tamela D'Amico, and you're watching Ken Boxer Live on TVSB. Cheers.
Cheers.
Terry Ryken Realtor proudly presents Ken Boxer Live. From the American Riviera in Santa Barbara, California, it's Ken Boxer Live, Santa Barbara's one and only entertainment talk show. Let's welcome the host of the show, Ken Boxer.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you. You're very kind. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, that was fast. Boom. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm Ken Boxer, and of course, this is Ken Boxer Live. Got a great show for you this evening. But before we start the show, I wanted to thank one of our sponsors, Terry Ryken, a great realtor. He came back and he's now sponsoring our show. Very, very cool. Thank you, Terry. Now, you all know, if you watch our show, I've been inviting, for the last 6 months, Ellen DeGeneres to appear on this program. Ellen, you're only really a mile away from the studio. It shouldn't take much effort to get you here. Anyone who knows her, or Ellen, if you're watching, you are invited. It's open-ended. Please come. We'd love to have you on the 100th show. It's only 7 shows from now, so please, it's open-ended. We'd love to have you. Right, everybody? Yes. Who we have tonight, everybody, is a very special guest. Tamela D'Amico. She's a singer. She's an actress, filmmaker, jewelry designer, and an entrepreneur. Her new movie, which we're going to be promoting tonight, One Little Finger, is out and it's getting rave reviews. So don't go away. She'll be with us in just one moment. Tamela D'Amico, everybody.
Ken Boxer Live is brought to you by the following sponsors. Palazzo Italian Restaurant, where people don't leave there hungry or thirsty. Gustafson Dance, meeting the highest standards in dance training. The Eagle Inn, a family-owned hotel near the beach in Santa Barbara. And now, back to our show.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome back. Joining us tonight is the very talented singer, actress, filmmaker, and jewelry designer, Tamela D'Amico. Tamela is currently starring in a new film entitled One Little Finger. Let's welcome to the show the very lovely and very talented Tamela D'Amico, everybody. Thank you. Yes. How are you? Let's start with that.
I'm well. I love Santa Barbara.
Well, you haven't. This is not the first time you're here.
It's not the first time, but it's the first time I kind of acted a bit like a tourist. And I feel like I've been here since yesterday, and I feel like I've been here for like a week. Just so many lovely things to do.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Well, tell us. Let's go back a little ways. Let's go back to your high school days. That's a good way to.
Okay.
Good place to start.
Sure.
Were you doing acting, singing at that time? And do you have a lot of support?
I was doing this.
You're doing what?
What you're doing.
Seriously?
Yeah. I had our own high school show, and I was also had my own little radio show, and I wrote for the local paper, not for the school paper. So it was just whatever was available, I thought, I'm going to do that. Meanwhile, also acting and singing, and through the TV program, making little short films and things like that. And then applied to film school and got into, I was kind of an overachieving nerd. Overachieving,
Okay.
Can't even say the word. Overachieving nerd, where I was involved in a lot of different things. I had already taken a lot of advanced placement courses in high school, so I was going to college and high school at the same time.
Okay.
So I wanted to go to Columbia in New York. I'm originally from New York, and I got waitlisted as a teenager. And I was like, I will not be waitlisted. So then I applied to Florida State film school program, and they accept 16 students a year from all over the world. And I got in there.
Only 16?
Only 16 from all over the world.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. And very competitive program. I think listed as one of the top 10 film schools now in the country. And a great program because it was an immediate, like you immediately get thrown into what it's like to work for a film studio because the state was the studio. They funded everything. And the students could be 40 from Finland. I mean, it was like all different age groups. And that was just a great training ground to then coming to California.
Well, going back though, in high school, were you doing any singing and acting in high school?
I was, for whatever was available. I was, but not professionally until I got to college.
And did you ever have voice lessons?
I did. When I was a kid, I studied with Joan Frisina, who taught at Juilliard privately, and she looked like Endora from Bewitched.
Okay.
And everything that she sang was in the Snow White voice, so it didn't matter where I was on the scale. So that big personality with red hair and just up here, so I was like, this is too much. So I did not keep up with my piano lessons, but I kept up with my voice.
Okay. Well, let's go now to One Little Finger.
Okay.
Because that is right now playing in film festivals all around the world, right?
Yeah. It's a film that was done as an Indian and U.S. co-production. And I play a neurologist who has ideas about music therapy and helping the disabled. And I actually go to India in a very sort of eat, pray, love way, trying to experience what my music theories are. And in the film, we actually have 80 disabled actors, which is like a Guinness Book of World Records, I think.
Okay. Well, how did you, when you first saw the script, how did you respond to it? Did you like the part right away?
Well, interestingly enough, this was the third film that I was offered to do in India. For my music, I have a lot of like Indian and Asian fans. The first film that I was offered, we were not sure because we didn't know about the infrastructure in India as an American going over there, so we said no. The second film, my agent said no, and that one went to the Cannes Film Festival. So then I was like, darn, I missed that, And then the third one was offered to me, and because it was the third time, my manager just said no and didn't even tell me about it. So then this director, who was very persistent and just great energy, he contacted me on Facebook. So the power of social media is an amazing thing. And he said, I'm not sure if you know, but I feel like you're supposed to do this movie. And, your manager said, no, did you know about it? And I said, no, I didn't know. So I said, send me the script. And I read it, and the script was so beautiful that I thought, how can I not do this movie?
Did you ask your manager that, or your agent?
Oh, of course. Yeah, he's, of course, no longer my manager. But very nice man, but just not in my best interest. So, so then I met with the director, and just one of those weird, fateful things, like one thing led to another, and everything we kind of wished for the movie to happen, happened.
What was it like working in India?
It was, you ask 20 people who've gone to India, like, what do I need to know about going to India? And everybody says the same thing. Don't drink the water, don't eat the fruit, but nobody gave me practical information. So I had to literally, after 2 weeks of taking cold showers, to understand how the water system worked there, I had to look at an American Girl's blog to understand how to use the shower, because I kept telling them, like, the shower is freezing. And they're like, no, we have hot water, but I just didn't know how to turn it on. You have to like turn on a hot water tank and all these things. So just culturally speaking, there were things to overcome, but I was treated like such a queen. They love Americans, and I just had the most beautiful time.
Well, how long did it take to shoot the movie?
Good question. So I was on this movie for about 4 years, but I shot it for 2 years, back and forth to India.
Really?
It was a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's watch. We have the trailer.
Okay.
Okay, let's watch the One Little Finger, everybody.
Great.
Believe, and then maybe you'll see the dancer that's inside of me. My brain says yes. Arms and legs may jerk. I'm just trapped in a body that may not always work.
Physical disability is not a chance. It's part of the human life cycle.
Betty, Let him be brave.
You know, there are tons of advocates for alternative therapies outside the U.S.
Mahatma Gandhi is quoted to have said, "Where there is love, there is life."
You are wasting precious years on a guess. Your thesis, you're gonna be a laughingstock.
Hi, you are on air with Ren and Dan. What's your question?
Disability is only what you perceive. Ability is everything of what you believe.
And these students are not people with disabilities. They are children with magical abilities.
Tamela D'Amico, everybody. I have to ask, what was it like though? You said you had 60?
80.
80, okay. What are the things that you had to do to accommodate that working with people with handicaps on a set?
Well, before I got there, they had trained for about 6 months religiously to learn the script and what their part was, which was 2 actors in the film. What the film is based on is loosely based on their actual stories. So working with them was just like working with anybody else. The only difference is that we had to find where the ramp was.
Sure.
Things like that.
Was it harder for you to, when you're in the scene, to work with someone with a handicap? Or disability, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point of this movie is to talk about the ability and disability. That at any moment, someone can become disabled. And you don't think about what that means. And even for me, going through the experience of working with all these people who have different disabilities in different ways, everybody lives their life in a certain way that is catered to what their need is. And one of the lead actors, like I said, his life depends on where the ramp is. And we go through the process of showing what the daily life is of someone like that and what their trials are. And the fun part of working with people who had different disabilities are they were learning how to make a movie. So some of them, some of the younger kids enjoyed getting their makeup done. So after every shot, there was one kid who was like, makeup! And it, like after 3 times it's cute, but after 80 times, 90, like all these takes, it was like, okay. And then we actually gave him a separate room where he could have makeup after every shot because it was just becoming too taxing to the schedule. So.
Well, what was it like though? I know you've been to, there was the world premiere.
In Cannes, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What's kind of the reaction are you getting from people watching the movie?
People say, thank you for making this movie. Because right now, I mean, there's nothing like it as far as, like I said, describing what it means to have a disability and what that means to go through a daily struggle of whatever your need is that is not, typically catered to in society. People are like, wow, you're actually having a discussion about this. Or they'll say, my son's autistic, now I feel like I'm not alone. Mm-hmm. Even someone in my own family said that. My cousin came to our San Diego screening and he was like, thank you so much. Like, I feel like I can talk now and that I didn't realize there's so many people out there.
Beautiful thing.
Yeah, so I feel like, no matter what I do in my career, I mean, you do comedy, you do this, I'm like, I know this is an important movie just for the discussion alone, and I think after it goes everywhere, it will be in schools as a learning tool.
Will it also be on Netflix, do you think?
Yeah, eventually. Yeah,
eventually?
It'll be on all streaming. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, you brought with you a music video, which I want to be able to show our audience. Can you lead us into this music video?
Sure. Okay, so my debut album that I did is called Got a Little Story, which it comes from a lyric within the song One for My Baby that you would know from Frank Sinatra. So when I went to set out to record this album, everyone's like, oh, you can't sing that song because that's notorious with Frank Sinatra. And I was like, well, you're wrong. I'm going to sing it, and I'm a woman, and it's going to happen. And then when we did the music video, I went back to New York, and we shot it all around New York and in or outside of PJ Clark's, which is where Johnny Mercer wrote the lyrics to that song. So the trivia of the song is he would go into PJ Clark's every day and talk to the bartender whose name was Tim. And he's like, one day I'm going to write a song about you. But nothing musically rhymes with Tim. That's interesting.
Okay.
So instead of
I believe
saying,
you, I don't know.
Yeah, instead of saying, set me up, Tim, with a drink, in the song he says, set him up, Joe.
Okay.
So more trivia for the music video. In the music video, it stars Katrina Lenk, who just won a Tony on Broadway last year, and Andy Rothenberg, who was Jim in The Walking Dead.
Okay.
And they're the two stars within my video.
Well, let's watch Tamela D'Amico.
It's 2:45. There's no one in the place except you and me. So set 'em up, Joe. I got a little story you ought to know. We're drinking, my friend, till the end of a brief episode. Make it one for my baby, one more for the road. Got the routine, so drop another nickel in the machine. Feeling so bad, won't you make the music easy and sad? I could tell you a lot, but you've gotta be true, true to your code. Make it one for my baby, one more for the road.
On the show, if you're just joining us, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Very beautiful. You actually did a song, a duet with one of our former guests, Billy Vera.
Sure.
What was that like, working with Billy?
So we also met on Facebook, so the power of social media. And I was like, are you the guy who has that song, What Would You Think? And he's like, no, it's called At This Moment. But yeah, that's me, I'm the guy. So I was like, oh, I have a concert at Catalina Jazz Club in Hollywood, come, and if you want to sing with my big band, I would love to have you. So he came on and sang At This Moment with his chart from the Johnny Carson show that they did with Doc Severinsen. So we used that chart, and he just you can find it online on YouTube, this particular performance. And he just blossomed, and I was like, I think you need to record a big band album. So I ended up executive producing his big band album.
Congratulations.
And then we did
Congratulations. You never know.
You never know. The power of social media is big.
But is the focus in acting and singing, earlier in your career, which did you focus on? Was it the singing? Which came first?
They all just came together. I'm the youngest of 5 kids, and my mother was very brilliant at coddling us at what we did best without being like a stage mom. So for me, she just coddled all those things, and I just did them all. That's it.
When you watch that video that we just saw, there's acting in there, you're in there, as well as the audio, hearing your voice. Is it easy for you to watch yourself or listen to yourself?
Yes, people ask this all the time. I don't see it as like, oh, myself, or people get weird. Because when I'm performing, it's like I become this other thing.
But what about when you listen to yourself? Is it different? Is it hard for you to hear yourself
No.
when you're listening?
When people put me on, like at parties, or I'm on Music Choice all the time, like they'll play that, I'm like, oh, shut this off. Like I don't need to hear myself,
Oh, well,
Yeah.
as I said at the beginning of the show, that you're very, very busy, a very busy gal. One of the things that you do
Yes.
is you design jewelry, and you're also a spokesperson for other products.
Okay, let me explain to you what all this is.
Okay, because I have right here some of
Yes,
the things.
okay,
Let's-
so by default, because I gained a lot of like social media traction, I became what is called a social influencer or brand ambassador for a lot of products. I also am a model, so I've been contracted with different brands and then thus became like a spokesperson for that brand. This is by Deborah Lindquist. She's an eco couture designer.
What you're wearing.
Yeah, and she repurposes materials. And because of that, I started a hashtag called Eco Glam, which means, not only is it okay for the earth, but it also can be glamorous. So I think a lot of
This,
people
by
think,
the way, is Burlington.
okay, great. Maybe not eco-conscious, but still nice. So because of that, all of these brands wanted to work with me. And when you're a social influencer, they either pay you to post something or they do a product exchange. So all these products right here
What do we
are
have?
some of my favorite things. So
Explain what we have.
Okay, so Solely Fruit, you can hold up that
Oh.
fruit jerky. It comes in many different flavors. That I think is mango and something else.
Okay.
Okay. All 100% fruit. So if you don't have time to take a pear or whatever with you, it's in the fruit jerky and there's no bad preservatives or anything like that.
Okay.
There's a local company in Santa Barbara, which I love, called Bella Vita. They make this pineapple glow mask as well as this fruit infuser water bottle, which you
This
can
right here?
also, nope, the
This
big,
one?
yes, the big guy.
This?
So that, you can put either loose leaf tea in there, not hot, only cool or sun tea, or to put fruit in there and it will infruit the fruit into your water. So that's super cool, and that's a local company you guys should know about since you're Santa Barbara people.
Okay. What about this?
And then that's
These two things.
Peak Sense is a fantastic company that does skincare. That is rose oil, facial oil for your face. Most essential oils you cannot put on your skin. That has a lot of essential oils in it for the skin, and you can even do it around your eyes, which is rare. And that is the same company. They make a line called Wandering West, and a lot of people like to burn sage, I think, in Santa Barbara, but they don't like the smoke.
Okay.
So that's Palo Santo spray, and you can spray it to clear your energy, and it smells really good for
And
the
what do we
house.
have here?
That is my debut album, and I'm just showing that because you showed the video, and I'm getting ready to do another album. And we have everything. Oh, and then lastly, we have, are we going to do this?
Yes, you can show that.
Okay,
This
so
is absolutely gorgeous.
I have a jewelry line called bytamela.com, and this came about because of my social influencer status. Got asked by this company called With JK to do a jewelry line, and I said I absolutely would love to because I have very slim fingers. So anytime I went to go purchase a ring, I could not have something that fit my finger, and I have to get it resized. These are 3D printed, which is super cool. So any size you are, we can make, and this is the Tamela ring. It's in the shape of a heart, because I see hearts everywhere, which
Can you
is
put it
another.
on?
Yeah, it's
Sign
another
it.
hashtag that I use. So
Okay.
it looks like that. You can turn it around every which way.
Well, let's hold your hand out for the camera
Sure.
to see. Okay.
Okay.
Absolutely beautiful.
And in the shape of a heart, and it's inscribed with my tagline, which is "With kisses to build dreams on." And this is rose gold. We have many different precious metals, and this one is rose gold, 18-karat plated. And I believe someone
Someone in our studio audience.
Yeah.
Jan won it.
got
won
this in the raffle before the show.
Yes, Jan.
So-
But not to be left out. Not to be left out for all of our studio audience. You're not going to believe this, but Tamela is giving everyone in our studio audience.
You're all going home with gifts. It's like Oprah, right? You're all
Thank
getting
you.
my favorite thing.
Everyone. So we'll have those ready for you after the show. Everybody in the audience will get all of these. Really? Oh, it's very nice. You're quite the entrepreneur. And you also, I want everyone to know that you have your own production company. Talk to us about that.
So when I first came to California and I started singing and doing all these things and coming out of film school, my dad's like, you need to brand everything under your own house and control it. So he's like, you have to start your own production company, which I did in 2006. And everything that I do is under that banner. It's called Strega Entertainment.
Strega?
Yeah, which in Italian means, it translates to the witch, but I like to say like sorceress in a good way, you know, a good witch.
Not a bad witch.
Not a bad witch. And I've done many web serials before that was a popular thing, and independent movies and music videos, and a music video for Billy as well under that, and just lots of different things. Put everything under there.
But how do you do everything? I mean, your acting career, your singing
Well,
career.
it's just, you know, that old term of like spinning plates. It's not that. It's not like they're all happening at once. It takes a long time to get a movie into production. So like while that's being pushed forward, I'll do an album. Or, you know, if I'm in a TV series, obviously a lot of those other things fall away or kind of take care of themselves. But one by one, it's like I think a lot of artists are waitresses or whatever, have a survival thing. Mine are always begetting the other. So it just works.
Well, you said something in the middle of the show about what you're wearing, and you just passed by it really quickly.
Yeah.
Explain the connection, how this evolved with you, what you're wearing.
Okay, so Deborah Lindquist, Eco Couture, she's an eco fashion designer, which means that she uses only stuff that is repurposed or okay for the earth. It's called slow fashion. Fast fashion would be like Forever 21, where it's being made in another country, it's expendable clothing, possibly children are making your clothing, just everything about it is bad for the environment. She is about slow fashion being good for the environment. A lot of people are going to thrift stores and things like that now. So she repurposes materials. This is denim. And I ended up working with her on a couple of photo shoots early when I came to LA, and then have been wearing her for about 10 years. She dresses me for all red carpets. And everything is unique one pieces, so you'll never get the same thing. But I started out as a model, and then just by default, it just ramped into this other thing.
Well, does your jewelry design in any way work with the clothing that you wear? So are you thinking, what am I going to wear? What don't I have in jewelry? Can I somehow put them together?
Yeah.
And
sometimes.
do you do this with this type of clothing, with this designer, particular designer?
Yeah. With this, really with anything I'm going to wear, I'm like, does this go with my outfit? I mean, yeah.
Well, we wish you so much success with this film. Do you know, where's it going to be? Is it going to be played anywhere locally?
It played here for a couple of weeks. It
in
had a
Southern
limited
California.
run. Yeah, it'll come back around. But next, I think we're in Hawaii right now, and then we're going up to Sacramento.
Well, do you travel and go to all the different shows?
I try.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so I'll go to Sacramento, and then we're going to New York, and then I think we go to London, and I think our Indian premiere will be in December.
Wow. Everybody, Tamela D'Amico. Well, that's our show for tonight. We hope to see you again really soon. Okay, so for my guest, Tamela D'Amico, and our director, J.P. Montalvo, and for the entire KBL crew, I'm Ken Boxer. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Ken Boxer Live is brought to you by the following sponsors. Terry Ryken, your broker with a personal touch for all your real estate needs. Gustafson Dance, meeting the highest standards in dance training. Spa Sia, the best in Santa Barbara for holistic facials, waxing, and massage. The Daily Grind, espresso, juice, and deli. Spudnuts Donuts. Zoto's Bowling and Beyond and Z's Tap House for the best in family entertainment. The Magic Castle Cabaret, your one and only place to see magic in Santa Barbara. The Eagle Inn, a family-owned hotel near the beach in Santa Barbara. Patrini's Family Restaurant. La Quinta Inn and Suites. Country Catering, Meat Market and Deli. Lito's Takeout. Jack's Bagels and Bistro. The Ken Boxer Live musical theme composed and arranged by Mr. Michael J. Leslie. all of us at Ken Boxer Live, I'm Baron Ron Heron. Good night, everyone.